Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is a special edition of the tier list videos we've been doing. Today, we are going to be doing a tier list of my characters. This is going to include characters that I've played as a player character, as a DMPC, and as particularly noteworthy NPCs. If there's something that I have played that didn't make it on here, I'm very sorry. I did it specifically to annoy you, though. So you should know that. Joining me today are the last two tier listers. In order of tier list, that would be Christine.
Hello.
And Robin.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. We're about to list some tiers. Yeah, so just for anybody who hasn't watched these before, tier lists are going to be ranking everything from S rank, which is super god tier, down to D rank, which is crap tier. Recycle this, please. So we are going to be going through all of these characters and having some fun with this. So anybody have anything they want to talk about before we begin?
I don't think so.
All right.
I'm looking forward to this.
All right. So I am just going to randomly jump in. Let's start. I'm shutting my eyes. How about here? Let's start off not as strong with... Oh, God, some of these guys are really good. Let's start off with Kyle. So my opinion of Kyle personally is I think that he's A rank. He's a strong character with a lot of depth. And he's great. Kyle is my character from Strixhaven. So what do you guys think?
I think Robin should weigh in first, having played with this character, whereas I've just minimally watched the character.
That's fair. Yeah, I think I don't know if it's your PC worry of like being a forever GM and finally being in your first game. I feel sometimes you hold back with Kai. So for me, he's actually kind of more between, he's like the mid-range between A and B for me personally. I think you definitely have some stronger what? I'm being honest. I think he's good. I just think you need to worry about not taking like the spotlight and get into him. I think he has some depth. Like definitely he's like in that kind of, he's like an A minus for me.
An A minus. All right, Christine.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas so I've watched very minimal amounts of Strixhaven, mainly because I might be modding, but I'm mainly playing a game at the same time or something like that. So I don't pay 100% attention. But from what I've heard of him and heard him do, I would say high A. Because like he's fucking hilarious is what I hear from him. And I'm just like, it feels so much like Kelly times 10 in a lot of ways of like hitting the responses really quickly and just being very a witty and just entertaining character.
He's a himbo. You gotta love a himbo.
And he also seems like pretty good as like a playing character of like being able to handle some fights, being relatively smart, being able to put some shit together.
Oh, he's done.
So that's
he's a spoilers for Strixhaven. This is going to Patreon, right?
It's going on the on YouTube pretty quick, but yeah.
You fucker, leaving at the end of last game. Maybe that's where.
I won't have to worry about this character for much longer. I'm gonna leave him in A tier, damn it, because he's great.
I said he's A, and I think Christine and I kind of we balance each other out, so he's A. I
feel like he's not quite S. I don't feel like maybe his hit that he could potentially in the future. I think
he could. It depends if I ever play him again. We'll find out.
I would like to see him played in a game that is not at Strixhaven. I would like to see how he tackles the real world.
I would love to see that after graduation. My Clark Kent character. All right, let's go to a DMPC. Let's go with Inone from Dreams of Arcos.
Oh, I love that art. It's so good.
It's great. The art's great. The character's C tier. I got no time to develop her before I had to take her out. She sucks, but I love her, but she sucks.
Yeah.
I just know the concept behind her from when we were plotting out.
Yeah, because you helped me make her. You helped me produce her.
I didn't actually watch because it was generally right after my stream, and I would be tired of making my lunch, so I wasn't actually paying attention.
You weren't paying attention. It's fine. So that's my call.
I was sus of Inone from the very beginning.
I know, you bitch.
What? You bitch?
You bitch.
You're supposed to trust them.
You're supposed to trust all my NPCs.
Sus. The fact that she did some things that were sus. She was a sussy girl.
All right. So are we happy with C?
Yep.
I think so.
Okay. All right. Dolnar Harmonhammer, which is I only pulled some of my characters.
For the lols, he's
For the
like
lulz?
S tier for the lols.
What? Which one was this again?
That was the
He was
dwarf
the
that I had
lazy dwarf.
Yeah, the one who had a floating couch.
From what?
From one
Candlekeep.
episode of Candlekeep. I just really like the makeup job I did. I'm gonna give him
Okay.
D tier.
Because I'm like, I don't know this character.
He was dumb as
all,
rocks.
yeah.
I hated him
He
so
was-
much, but he was great.
For the lols, he's S tier in the fact that he is such a lazy it's great. But yes, D tier, but
D tier.
S tier for the lols.
Dorian H.A. Mormont, the old bard who basically just got his groove and realized after 60 years of forced marriage that he was flamingly gay and flamingly horny for young men. I feel like he's B tier.
I think he's B tier. You in that game, I remember you just were on it and you were just so like it was one of those characters that definitely was memorable and felt very comfortable. Like you playing him was hilarious.
Thank you. Let's fill out the mid tiers. So Mock from Star Trek, Lower Dorks. The costuming's on point. I'm gonna put the character at a C tier.
Really? I'd say he's B.
You'd say he's
I was
B?
gonna say B just for like the facial expressions and makeup alone.
I've watched a couple episodes of Laura Darks. I don't
Alright.
get watched as much, but he seems like he seems like a good character. Like I feel like he's B. He definitely has
is-
like potential.
He is a Klingon science officer, for those who don't know, and yeah. All right, I'll put him there. I'll allow you to raise him up. Let's go through. Here's another NPC. This is Bianca Celes, the antagonist, as it turned out, of The Secret of Hexeter House. But because it's Hexeter House, it's a D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't really develop her that much, like, or if you did, we didn't put it together.
Man,
And I came in at the end when she was like did the reveal of the bad. So I don't.
'Cause it was,
I
like,
never got to
The
interact
flirty
with
brother
her
and the bitchy
officially.
sister was about all I really
Yeah.
thought about.
that's all you really remember.
Yeah.
All right. That's yeah. Let's do Valez.
It's so hard because I don't really get to know him. I
know,
knew
you're-
of him, but
Oh, he's
previous
he's A
versions
tier
of him.
for you as DMPC. He's A tier in my mind.
Is
Like,
he?
Yeah, I think he's A tier. But
You think he's A tier? I kind
I
of feel
think he
B.
barely impinged on me, so he was kind of just a flavor memory. So for me, it
Yeah.
was more B tier.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Okay.
I wasn't there for the beginning, so I don't know how much he interacted and how much depth he had.
he
That's
was
fair.
great with the party. Like he was like
He was the snarky guy in the back who just occasionally
yeah, he
would.
was-
He did what a DMPC is supposed to do, which is not show up in the audience's perception until something needs to get nudged. And then we'll be like, maybe you should try pressing the button, smartass. So that is that's my opinion. There is that
Mhm.
he's probably B. He's a good motivator though. But on
Yeah.
that note, let's talk about the entire rival party from Call of the Netherdeep that I had to play
Okay,
back to back.
S tier because you were able to distinctly do voices and personalities and swap during them effortlly. That was
I mean, they did
S-tier
all have
NPCing.
distinct personalities, so maybe not an NP, maybe not an S rank character,
Yeah.
but S rank NPC
Ah,
Yeah.
communism.
potentially.
so-
Because like you did manage to like every single one of them. Like I can think of who they were.
Fair.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a really good distinct. Whereas I barely remember Bianca, right? Like
That's
Yeah.
fair.
whereas
Let-
I got feelings for Maggie by the end.
Everybody got
God,
feelings for
Maggie's back.
Maggie. Maggie was great. Let's stick with Call of the Netherdeep then. Let's talk about your husband, Robin.
Oh,
Bodhi. B for Bodhi?
I
Yeah, I
feel
think
like-
B for
yeah.
Bodhi.
There
for
wasn't
Bodhi.
too much to him beyond being sexy
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
fair.
flirty, but he was definitely really fun.
He was
Oh
fun.
yeah,
Hello.
And I love that he
I'm-
keeps coming back into stuff with Keiko.
right.
it's great.
Speaking of B, Dirk. Dirk from
Yeah.
Reign of Emeries is a B tier. He's a
Yeah.
high B.
Like he was a
Yeah.
really sweet presence, I think, that helped give a good solid like goal for Ivy,
Mhm.
but he
Yeah.
wasn't really actively there very much.
No.
All right. So, however, conversely, in Call of the Netherdeep, let's go back to that. I want to put Elixion at an A or an S because god damn it, I milked that role for all it was worth, and I deserve my gamer Oscar for that.
Fair. I don't consider. I guess you did play him. I was like, I don't really It's weird because he was very much a presence.
Look, I gotta put certain NPCs places in this, or else I don't have a list because I'm always the DM.
I know, but I just mean like it's interesting. Like it was very much an A tier performance. It was like I'm like, that's interesting.
All right. Dr. Stephen Strange from that one episode of Extra Life. I'm gonna say B tier. I managed to keep the accent up super well. No, C tier?
I'll say
C tier.
You didn't really do. It's not like your character developing. You just played an already done character.
I just stole it. All right, fine. All right, so another character I stole, Commodore Crux. I'm gonna say C tier.
Yeah, I watched I watched Spelljammer, and it's just like
Krista's gonna yell at me for that, but it's C tier.
Krista, it's A tier in your heart. We know
it's A tier in our heart. Okay. How about? Oh, I've had it gone on here twice.
Of course he is.
I was kind of thinking you had like a huge range of stuff there.
Yeah.
Like you've got way more things to play with than I did.
That's fair. Let's go with Arvanel from Ghosts of Saltmarsh. C.
See, I'd say C or D because you barely had any time to develop him.
I'll say D, but I want to put him in C for the guyliner.
Well, yeah, the guyliner was
the
great.
concept was great. It didn't go much of anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think that's where I put Korza too. I believe Korza was in D tier or C tier too.
Yeah, I think she was. Rishley Wanderfoot, my Shaggy-inspired JoJo halfling monk.
And that was the one from Candlekeep, right?
Yeah, that's the one from Candlekeep.
Didn't you reprise him for an Extra Life game too, or no? Am I crazy?
Yeah, I have. I've brought him around a couple times.
Yeah, I'd say solidly B.
Solidly B tier. He could grow. But you know who's already full grown? Harwar.
S tier. Yeah,
that's right.
Fight me. He has a t-shirt.
Right. No.
His t-shirt is one of the best-selling items in our store.
He got a t-shirt, and he is still a meme for our channel. He's a channel meme. For like the rest of everything. He comes in all the time.
Let's give another S tier because fight me. Henry the Honk.
Well, duh.
Henry the Honk, my chaotic pyromaniac goose who does not fit into any. You can make
me burst into giggles with that character.
Whoa, what's funny about this character?
Yeah, there we go.
It's even better with the mask. Like
it's so good with the mask. Also, you audience, you were very lucky because you don't have to see me when I take the mask off. I look like I was like someone just gave birth to me afterwards. I'm so sweaty and my hair is plastered in ways that make me look like I'm half bald. It's really weird.
Latex.
Latex. There's so much latex on that costume. The gloves, the mask. Oh God. I feel like he's basically a gimp. Basically. Speaking of basically a gimp, Bing Briarfoot, which I just put on there because it's my Bugs Bunny character that I played once in Candlekeep.
He's like a horrible hole.
He's
I
a
wasn't
C
there
tier.
for like any of Candlekeep, so
that was the smartest thing you've ever done in your life.
Yeah.
I think I was too busy that period.
I think you were in like 1 or 2 games of Candlekeep at the most.
Yeah. Relatively. Yeah, because I played in the one with Alejandro.
Hayden. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now we got some fun ones. Let's go Levna.
S.
At least
S?
A. No, I'd say A. I don't know that she's quite iconic enough for S.
Yeah, she's the most powerful
but she's
lesbian.
A very solid A.
But yeah, that's fair. We can always move stuff around in a minute. But Zugus.
Oh, he's definitely
around
A.
You think A?
I'd say A tier.
He's like B plus A minus. Yeah, he needs to grow.
He needs to grow, but I think it's really solid, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Larkin Zell.
I feel like he needs to be up around A or B.
Yeah,
I think he's A. I think he's A.
Really solid, and he's really funny.
I mean, if you look at the people in A tier and B tier, I think he's definitely better than the B tier people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like how he basically the very first game just him and Grizzle just
Grit.
Yeah.
Grit. Okay. Teddy from Mage to the Victorian Age. I feel like he's an A tier. Ooh, silence.
Yeah, he is very distinct.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think because he doesn't have a ton of presence beyond like making sex jokes.
Mhm.
And
but
being
he is
hopelessly
still
in love.
But he is a very distinct character all the same. So I had to think about that
Mhm.
one for a minute.
You gonna
Yeah, no, I was
fight
thinking
me on this?
about it.
What are you thinking, Robin?
I agree. Again, looking at what you have in A and B tier, he's just not like he's not as memorable as the other people in that, but he's definitely better. He's definitely between I think A and B for me, but
All right.
on the upper side of A.
Nolan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nolan.
Put a
I
lot
got-
of thought into that one. And
yeah. The
it's
That's-
prop.
ridiculous. I'm never quite sure what you're gonna pull out with him.
Neither am
Yeah,
I. I just basically
the
let my
prop
ADHD
usage.
run.
Yeah,
That's just
it's
all stuff
great.
in the junk drawer next to my desk. So it's
I know, but the fact
What
that
is
you
that?
use it and you think of it well and you're good with the fast improv on it, like it's very good.
Edagon the Wise.
I love Edagon.
Edagon's great.
I love Edagon so much.
So anyway, I started
Um,
blasting.
Yeah.
I feel like he should be up in S because you just really developed that whole thing and like you did a lot of world building through him.
Oh, so thanks for the
Also-
Halas for doing this art.
Yeah. I also know like some of Edagon's stuff because this was before I joined the Shards cast and you talked to me about Edagon, so I know some of his back stuff, and it's just like it's wonderful.
That the suffix apostrophe EZ in Elven means the wise.
Yep.
Edagon the Wise literally is just Eddie Gonzalez.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. You know what else is dumb? Zeet. He's an A tier.
Yeah. He's
I don't have
Yeah.
art for Zeet, and I wasn't going to steal someone else's art, so that's Zeet. Zetran Coulter.
No, he was pretty amazing.
Calder?
Keegan's
Calder.
grandson potentially.
Do you have Edagon twice?
I have Edagon
Yes.
twice.
Oh, okay.
I'll put him in S tier twice. There we go. That was easy. Okay, so Garleon.
Is that? I just noticed one of the things.
We'll find out. I'm going to put Garleon in A tier because I think he's a very, very well-developed character.
Yeah, he's well developed. I hate him right now.
That's fine. Love him,
Yeah,
hate
I
him.
I don't have a ton of thoughts about him. I don't feel like we haven't interacted with him all that much in the long run.
You haven't?
No, I think
the other two have.
yeah, the other two, the people that did when I did Jarund, that half of the NPCs, Garleon was with us for that, and
Mm-hmm.
he definitely got a bit more personality from him.
Yeah, because it's
That'll be
only in this
interesting.
last arc that I've actually really.
Why would
seen
you guys
him
say
much.
that he's lower?
I just don't have much opinion on him. I think you've done him well, but I don't know much about him. I've never really interacted with him, so I can't really say how much character development there is because I haven't
Fair.
interacted to find it out.
See, I would put potentially, for I know who you're grabbing next, it would be I put Garleon in B tier, Catamus in A, and Baby Girl in S would be how I would potentially
you
rank
go
that.
like
I don't know
this?
if, yeah, I don't know if Garleon's at the same level as Catamus.
Oh,
in my
but
mind.
Garleon had that speech.
I know he had that speech.
I feel like I miss the mark with Catamus a lot of the time. Catamus for me is like BA, mostly because the accent keeps fluctuating.
Well, I just think because you play a lot of people that I think, unlike some games where you play,
I feel
An
like you've given him a really
NPC.
nice like slow build of slowly revealing stuff. Like you've had enough time
Hmm,
with Shards because I mean it was back in Onion that we found him.
that's true.
So we've had him a long time. So he's had a nice slow development.
3 years.
and the bromance going on between
it's
Malia and Catamus is very cute, and the slow
also
dwarven-
glacial.
Glacial.
That is
dwarves.
glacial.
You've
Y'all need
got
to heat
time.
it up.
They're working on it. When you heat up a glacier, everybody gets wet. I'm gonna fight to leave Garleon in A tier.
We'll let the audience who watch Shards also
Wait.
get an input. Weigh in on the comments.
All 6 people
For
that watch
that.
Shards of Nirn. Yeah, okay.
We love them.
Oh yeah, they're the only reason I'm running the damn game still. That I promised I would. Finally,
What
I
about your
have
players?
who?
Yeah.
You mean the people I could just funnel into Hand of Vecna or Eve of Vecna or whatever? Oh my god. All right, and last but not least, the most important NPC, Duncan.
Ah! Oh my god, S tier, S tier, S tier. Duncan's an S. Ah!
See, I have not experienced Duncan, so I'm not going to weigh in.
Smith, do you have any Gatorade? I seem to have left all my electrolytes in your tiefling.
Your tiefling.
Okay. I'm gonna put him in S. He's an
He's
S
the
tier
best part
and
of that
in D
100
tier.
campaign. He's the best part of that 100 campaign.
What, making James make sure he didn't let Duncan near any of the 18-year-olds? Yeah.
Duncan was like
Oh.
the most fantastic part of that entire campaign.
No, he would basically in
boy.
our Chronicles of Darkness games, Duncan is a coked up TV producer.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
He's basically Avery Bullock from American Dad, but I just threw him in a Hunter game. And honestly, he works better in a Hunter game. It's ridiculous. What do you
It was
mean
a-
they're
I remember
vampires?
he-
he,
James had to
he
both work with
briefly
him.
appeared in Party Monsters, didn't he? He made a
He
cameo.
did. He made a cameo, and then I had to make sure that he only had one name. He's monimic, like Teller from Penn and Teller, and or Cher. He had his passport changed because I couldn't remember what Duncan's last name was, or if Duncan was his first or last name. So I'm like, fine. He just had his name changed to Duncan. America runs on Duncan.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. So that's what I have here. And if there are other NPCs, so does this look right to y'all?
Yeah, I mean, overall, the majority of the things that you run are very good. So I'm not surprised
Mhm.
you've got that much up in S and A.
Yeah.
I need to play more. I've got some characters that are coming up in the near future that I actually did some color tests for recently to see. You guys got the photos for that.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll have some more A tiers. I really want to get a chance to play a little bit more, which I'm excited to be playing in Changeling. Although I think that character might be a little understated.
Mm.
Fair.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
What you need to get is in more than, well, I guess if you're in multiple once a month games, then it kind of turns into like a game a week, but you just need someone to run a campaign that's like more than just once a month. I guess Chris does Strixhaven's twice a month.
Strixhaven does. And what's coming after Strixhaven is going to be twice a month.
Mm.
Oh, and then also people should join the Patreon so that I get to run a game.
That's true. I am going to be painting myself green for that, so you definitely should.
It's not going to be a very long game, but
I'm going to look for tusks. I'm going to be playing an orc for that, for sure.
Nice.
It's going to be the dumbest name I've ever had. All right, so folks, that is going to be, I guess my tier list went by pretty quick, but those are the tier lists for my NPCs, DMPCs, and PCs that I have played as promised, as the prophecy foretold. So that is what we have here. I hope you enjoyed that. We went through it pretty quick. And yeah, I want to get Zugus and Kyle up around A tier. And I need to work on keeping my accent straight for
I was
for
gonna say if you want to talk about like what are some things that like
opportunities
you
for
really
Zugus.
opportunities for Zugus, or like do you want to talk about your thoughts behind, do you want to talk about more about Kyle and stuff like that? Because I think like if I remember my tier list, we did have some discussion about
yeah, I think so.
certain
Well,
characters and
I mean,
stuff.
Kyle's in A tier, in arrears. Kyle, I think that he's A+ because of things like the fight with Arlen in the last episode. Our moment, like Kai and Nels on the platform.
Yeah, that was real cute.
I think that Kai is great because he's full of bravado and he's full of all of these layers, and he has this like devil may care demeanor, but he also has this other side. And he's got all of this damage that he's trying to work through, and he's actually working through it. It's kind of interesting to watch him do that because Strixhaven takes place over 4 years. So you actually get a lot of character development that you can push if you remember that. You're like, oh, this has
Yes.
actually been an entire
if you
year.
remember.
It's sometimes hard to remember because of the way that it's structured. And
Yeah,
That's
it's
not-
a bit,
that's
I
not-
find it's yeah,
it's
it's not that's not on Krista's running.
No.
That's on the module.
as always,
itself.
Krista, it is not on you. It's on the damn module. Wolf.
It's just, yeah, that game I find it's very hard to necessarily develop. I find that as well with Nell. Is sometimes it's hard to kind of
Yeah, I feel
push
like
the
they have
plot and
great structure to those characters, Zugus and Kyle, but
yeah.
it just needs to be explored more. Which,
Yeah.
speaking of, if there's ever anything you want brought up in a way that you think would come well from Luna, or a way that you would like to explore some character interaction, let me know so I don't miss a cue or something in game.
Fair. I mean, with Zugus is basically like what would happen if you put Henry Cavill's Geralt and Wolverine in a blender.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out where to take it from there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, I guess
finding out, yeah.
Depends on what you want to play like. Like if you want to be chattier,
Mm-hmm.
you could let it be that he's got that center of like once he trusts somebody.
I think he has,
he opens
actually.
up.
I think he really has opened up after the first couple episodes. That was my goal, is to play a loner that stays a loner for just as long as it stays interesting. And then
Yeah.
the moment it stops, just quit. Just be like, all right, he's not a loner anymore. Fuck it.
But you could also probably, because there's a lot of like no memory there. So you could do a lot of like potentially funny bits with exploring. Oh, I like this. Kind of like Doctor Who.
Mm,
No, not apples. No.
not apples.
Fish
No.
sticks and custard. No.
Yeah, that's
Type thing, right?
I still have never tried that. Yeah, I don't really
Sounds
see
disgusting,
much else movement wise. Because like top row, done. Nolan just needs to keep it up. Edagon is an NPC. He is what he is. Farah's an NPC, but like she makes bad choices. I love that she makes bad choices that are destructive, but they're choices that an adolescent would make.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a lot of time in her head and a lot of time listening to Beth Crowley. Go listen to Beth Crowley. Beth Crowley does all of, is it Crowley? I think it's Crowley. Does all of Farah's music in my head. I need more time with Lark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't see Mock actually evolving. The game's too silly. Like, no
Fair.
offense to the game, but it is a silly game. So I think that it's kind of stuck there. And a lot of these are NPCs where I don't really see much of a growth opportunity, right?
That's fair.
Well,
Yeah.
and you have your big NPCs that are at the top because they had growth.
Well, and
but-
most of those are finished NPCs too. The game's done. They're not likely to come back much.
Except Henry the Honk. Henry the Honk
Yeah.
is definitely not fixed nor an NPC. He is just the living embodiment of
A god.
destruction. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
He's a god of chaos.
He's a god of
Mhm.
chaos. He's just this is his avatar.
And I mean,
Yeah.
Harwar is just going to live in our hearts forever.
Yeah.
He was just too iconic in the moment.
He's so dumb. I love it. All right. So, yeah, that's honestly how I feel about this. So yeah, thanks for joining me on this, guys. I hope you had some fun, like, poking at my psyche.
Yeah, no problem. I like talking about characters, so
Yeah, it's always interesting to get in the head of.
Do you
of
guys
a
have any
DM.
questions or anything?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
think so.
Yeah.
It's good.
And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will answer them. I will. I promise. I'll do it. But I think that's going to be it for this. We will have some more of these like little fun things set aside for you very soon. So thank you so much. Happy New Year. And hey, if you would like to support the channel, join the Patreon where you'll get stuff like this way early. At least like 2 weeks early, if not more, at patreon.com/dorktales. Thank you so much for being here, Robin. Thank you so much for being here, Christine.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
This was lots of fun.
You're lots of fun. And so are you, listener. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.